It's Patrick at Pals. This 65 Corvette came in with a clacking noise after it got hot in the engine. So you'd start the engine and the engine was quiet. And then as it warmed up, you'd hear a clacking noise or a clicking noise and it would come and go. So we've got the engine out and we've been investigating what's wrong. This is the cam bearings. And Jim, tell us what's happening with those.
Well, uneven pressure or uneven wear has tore these cam bearings up. It's hard to see with this camera, but the whole surface is worn out right through here, and it's starting to pit apart on the top.
It's all galled.
Yep, it's all galled.
So that was a misassembly of the cam bearings. They've got to be square when they go in there. There's 5 bearings on the inside. And they've got to be square when they go through. The oiling holes that you can see have got to line up, but more importantly, it can't go this way or that way. It's got to be square. Now, another thing that we found on this engine when we took it apart is somebody used the wrong tool to install the timing gear. You can see that this crankshaft is all damaged where the keyway is. That keyway should stand up and hold the cam gear, and it's all broken off. So somebody used the wrong tool to put that on. That would cause catastrophic failure when this engine's going down the road. So that's another thing that we found. Now, if you look over here, and Jim's going to spin it, you can see oil here. That's coming out of the head. If we look further, you can see oil. See the oil right here? See that oil? That's coming out of the head. Look back here. There's a head bolt that's leaking. That head bolt right there is leaking oil. It's coming right out of the head bolt and right down here. That means that the head gaskets are compromised. What they didn't do was they didn't put thread sealer on the threads for the head bolts. If you don't put thread sealer on them, they will leak like that. Then on the back of the engine, we've got this beautiful center force clutch. Looks great. But look at the freeze plug. Whoever rebuilt this engine didn't install the freeze plug properly, and it's leaking. Over on this side, you can see the freeze plug is dry and it's installed properly. But look at this one, it's kinked. It's because they used the wrong tool and it's leaking. You can see the green and it's leaking, and right down here, it's kinked. Anytime you take an engine apart, you have to be precise with putting it back together. Another problem we found on this engine was the engine has been what they call decked. So they straighten the surface of the engine and they come down the side and they make it flat. Okay, they make everything parallel. When you do that, it changes the geometry between the head and the valley of the engine. So when your intake gasket comes on, you have to put a different size gasket on it to take up for the surface that's now missing off of this area right here. That wasn't done, and this engine was leaking because of it. So what we'll do to repair this is we're going to take the engine completely apart. The heads will come off, the pan will come off, the crank will come out. Then we'll reinstall these cam gears properly with a new keyway. We'll put in new cam bearings, and we'll check everything else out on the inside. We'll also put on new freeze plugs, and then, of course, new head gaskets. We'll do the right thing with the bolts. We'll make sure that they all have integrity. If you have an engine that you need to have worked on, and you need it to be resealed, or you need it to be rebuilt, or you want to put a bigger cam into it, bring it to Pals. We do things right here. See you soon.